You notice it first in the grocery store. Someone drops a jar of pasta sauce. It clatters against the tile. You glance, almost reflexively, and your chest tightens for a second. Not with worry for them, not exactly. It is a moment that feels like recognition of a rule you didn't know you had: careful, attentive, courteous. You keep walking. You don't stop. The moment lingers behind your eyes, like it always does, and then it disappears. Later, you find yourself holding the door for someone who seems farther away than you might have thought necessary. Their smile is brief, polite. You think about it only in the sense that it is a thing you do, emotion your body has learned to make, almost invisible. No one sees the thought behind it, because you barely see it yourself. And yet, something about that reflex feels familiar in a way that doesn't entirely satisfy. At the office, a coworker asks you for help with a report. You agree, even though your own deadlines are pressing. You do it quietly, without complaint. Afterwards, in your car, you notice a small surge of satisfaction that feels almost like relief. Not pride, not guilt, just a subtle warmth in the chest. It is the kind of feeling you might have ignored yesterday, and tomorrow, you probably will. Sometimes, at night, you catch yourself imagining what other people think of you. Not grand thoughts, nothing heroic. Just whether they see you as competent, reliable, pleasant. You wonder if those glimpses of recognition, the smiles, the thanks, the nods, are more about you wanting to exist comfortably in their perception than about them at all. And yet, you tell yourself it is about kindness, because it is easier to believe in that. On a quiet Sunday morning, you notice the way you answer the phone when someone calls you with a minor complaint. You soften your voice. You reassure. You nod along. There is no dramatic rush, no judgment, only the low hum of a habit that has become part of who you are. And then the thought flickers. Perhaps this kindness is a place where your patience and discomfort quietly collide. You do not chase it. You do not label it. You just notice it. Driving past a neighborhood park, you see a parent chasing after a toddler. The child falls, scrapes a knee. The parent flinches and reaches down. You look away, but not entirely. Something in that rapid, instinctive care resonates in you, though you cannot name why. Perhaps it is recognition of a pattern, in yourself. Perhaps it is the way you have, over years, calibrated your responses so that they are efficient, socially acceptable, and quietly reassuring. Sometimes, you catch yourself giving compliments to strangers. It is small, maybe a comment on a shirt or a haircut. You see the brief lift in their eyes. You almost convince yourself it is nothing, a passing gesture. But inside, there is a flicker of relief. A secret awareness that this is, in some small way, a transaction. Not currency, exactly, but an exchange. Something given, something taken, though neither side may name it. You think about moments like these in the shower, when the water is warm and your mind drifts. You imagine the moments you have not noticed, those fleeting interactions in the coffee shop, the elevator, the street. How many times did you smile without thinking, nod without meaning, offer a kindness that was not requested, and then a quiet pause? Perhaps those acts are neither kind nor unkind, but signals of something else entirely, something your own mind has quietly rehearsed over decades. There is a shadow in your reflection that you rarely speak of. Not a dark thought, not a guilt, not a shame. It is a subtle awareness that your generosity, your patience, your soft words, your quick motions toward help may carry with them a hidden architecture, a structure you did not build consciously, but that exists nonetheless. It bends around expectation, around habit, around the silent, unacknowledged desire to be seen as safe, competent, agreeable. You find yourself in the hallway, overhearing snippets of a conversation. Someone praises another for helping without complaint. You notice a small tension in your chest. a thought that is not fully formed. You have offered similar help countless times. The recognition you feel is tinged with the quiet question, was this for them, or was this, in some subtle, unexamined way, for you? Later, walking back from lunch, you see a stranger on the curb, fumbling with coins to pay for a parking meter. You step closer to help, though you could have walked on. The gesture is small, but it feels precise, like a rehearsed motion you have performed so many times you forget it is even an act. In your mind, you replay it, imagining how they will see you, how they might think about your quiet attentiveness. And for a moment, the line between spontaneous kindness and self-reflection blurs. You remember a friend telling you once that kindness is its own reward. You nod. You think it is simple, and yet, sometimes, when no one notices, the reward feels curiously absent. Or perhaps the reward is there, but it is not the one you expected. It is something quieter, more elusive, a pulse of calm, a sense of alignment, a reassurance that the world has not rejected you entirely in this moment. The grocery store checkout. The cashier smiles at your small joke. You return it automatically. A tilt of lips, a pause that says, yes, I am present, I am here. And then, almost immediately, your mind notices a small calculation. Did I say that for them? Or did I say it for myself? You do not answer, you only notice, and that noticing is strangely heavy. Walking home in the evening, you watch a neighbor water their plants. The ritual is quiet, deliberate. You think about the ways humans nurture small things, in gardens, in pets, in routines, in the gestures they offer one another, and then you wonder if some of your own nurturing the small kindnesses, the attentions, the care was never fully about anyone else at all, but a method of softening the rough edges of yourself. You recall a time you comforted someone you barely knew. Your words were careful, your tone unhurried. Afterwards, you walked away feeling light. Or was it relief? Perhaps both. The mind resists naming these things. The heart even more so. It is enough to notice that the act, regardless of intention, resonates in you. The echoes of your own reassurance often arrive louder than the gratitude of the other person. Sometimes, you catch yourself pausing in conversation, waiting for a reaction. The smile, the sigh, the nod. You offer more than asked. You soften your voice. You adjust your posture. And then, when the exchange is over, you realize your mind is replaying it, measuring the subtle approval, the fleeting recognition. Perhaps that is the quiet psychology of kindness. It is a loop, a system, a rhythm we participate in without naming. Late at night, in the dim glow of your phone screen, you scroll through a message from someone who thanked you for a small favor. You notice an odd sensation in your chest. Gratitude and validation collide. And then a flicker of doubt. Was the act generous? Or was it carefully tuned to elicit this exact outcome? You push the thought away, but it lingers like a shadow at the edge of consciousness. In the park, watching a stranger help another pick up dropped groceries, you feel a shift in the texture of your thinking. You have done this before. You will do it again. And yet, there is a quiet realization. Kindness is not a pure stream. It carries undertows. Even the most automatic gestures are shaped by internal expectations, patterns that quietly shape your life without explicit awareness. You think about yourself. You think about the people you have helped, the doors you have held, the emails you have answered, the words you have softened. Each small act seems innocent, and yet, each also contains the faint architecture of intention and perception, of who you hope to be and how you wish to be remembered. There are moments when the awareness strikes you sharply. Some gestures may have been performed for approval, for quiet control over how others perceive you, or simply to preserve a sense of order in a world that feels unpredictable. And yet, the act itself, the motion, is not diminished. It is only reframed. Human behavior rarely arrives clean, rarely arrives simple. Perhaps this is the subtle shadow of human behavior. Even the quietest generosity is tangled with self-recognition, with the invisible currents of our own minds. And maybe noticing it does not diminish the kindness, but transforms it, not into something lesser, not into something moralized, but into something quietly alive, self-reflective, and, if you allow it, strangely intimate. And so you end the day with a faint awareness, not a conclusion, that every soft word, every careful gesture, every unseen pause, has carried something of yourself into the world, whether you meant it to or not. And in that awareness, you feel the quiet weight of being someone who is both kind and profoundly aware that kindness is never simple. It is not a lesson. It is not a story. It is merely the soft recognition that even your quietest acts of care reflect something unspoken inside you.